Alright, so it's been over 2 years since I last made a speculation video, and I think it's finally time to get back to that. So hello everyone, and welcome back to another Dweller video. We've recently been given a couple of snazzy new sneak peeks, which both hint at the introduction of Metro. Why is it Metro, you may ask? Well, the main colour scheme appears to be red, the first preview has a cut-off ME at the start, and SCR's legacy map expansion plans used to include a red-coloured operator called Metro. If you're not convinced enough, just look at the name of this emoji on the newest sneak peek. This whole thing has almost instantly taken the community by surprise. We all thought that Metro was forever cancelled and there might not be any new operators, but now we're all taken aback by the introduction of a fifth operator. But the question is, where will Metro go? Well, think of it this way. Metro-style systems across the UK tend to be secluded to one single city or region, such as Merseyrail in Liverpool, Tyne and Wear in Newcastle, or the Docklands Light Railway in London. With that in mind, it's pretty clear that Metro will definitely be serving one central metropolitan area of the map, so no, it won't be going to Limb by the Sea. We can see in the new sneak peek, which I'll discuss a bit more later, that the new Metro train is heading to Stepford Central, so the network will almost definitely stay only within the Stepford area. I personally don't think it's likely that Metro will expand to further areas such as Morganstown, Benton or Leighton, as I anticipate that the network will be quite small to start off. 2 years ago, I came up with a theory that SCR can't really expand, mainly for optimization reasons. Go watch that video if you haven't yet. I want to pull out that theory a second time, because again, like the airport reshuffle, I feel like this might entail another network reshuffle in the Stepford area. Lots of people have been revisiting this map, a map of the original network plans of Stepford County Railway before version 1.0 released. The Metro network on this map is extensive. It reaches as far as Whitefield, Winstrey, which is now Leighton, Coxley, Morganstown, and even the airport. It also includes this branch, a loop which continues after Stepford Victoria and connects back at St Helens Bridge. Do I think they're going to be using these original plans? Well, no. Those plans were drawn up many years ago, so at this point, it would be naive to assume that they're sticking with what they made up in 2017. What I think might happen is a network reshuffle around Stepford, where Metro either complements Connect on the same tracks, has brand new tracks, or takes over some parts of Connect. It's also entirely possible that they'll open up some new stations too. People love to revisit the likes of University, Stepford Southgate and Old Harrow, though I have my doubts. Over time, particularly with Farley, Beechley, Willowfield and even Leighton, SCR has slowly been deviating from its original plans, so I'm not confident that they'll stick with this map. What does this mean for Stepford though? Well, unfortunately, this theory is never very conclusive, as it relies on what the developers have already come up with behind the scenes, which would be really difficult to predict. Will there be any new tracks? Perhaps some new stations in the city area which are really close together? Or none at all? I don't have a clue, and I think the entire SCR community is just as stumped as I am. I will make some theories though, based on what parts of the map have already been built and could potentially be taken from Connect. It would make a lot of sense for plenty of existing stations to be rebranded as Metro stations. Take, for example, the Whitefield line, SCR's least used line. Probably. Back in older versions of the game, the Whitefield line was branded as Metro the whole way down, and due to its close proximity to the Stepford area, it seems like a no-brainer that Metro could absolutely serve this branch instead of Connect. Yes, it could be argued that the line is much more rural further down the line, but I feel like it's close enough to Stepford to constitute Metro, and I doubt this line would have two operators using it. This logic could also apply to lots of different lines around the Stepford area. Take Stepford Victoria, Willowfield, and even Berrily, which would be very pog if it was actually upgraded. Those lines and the stations along them could absolutely have Connect stripped away from them with a full replacement of Metro. Think of it this way, why are there so many terminating platforms at Stepford Central? I never see them all being used, so it would make sense if Connect became fully cut to Stepford Central, with everything beyond it being purely served by Metro. Platforms 4 to 9 would be for Connect and maybe some Metro, with 10 and 11 only being used by Metro. Back on the topic of potential new lines and stations, have we all forgotten about this line of trees near Hemden Park? It's pretty close to Stepford if you ask me, and if the developers want to make a confusing micro network around Stepford, it seems like the perfect opportunity to finally use this line. I have a feeling that this was originally put here as an unplanned joke, but with Metro coming, I'm more convinced that this might actually be used one way or another. Also, how much of Metro will be underground? Metro-style systems across the UK tend to have a mix of sections which are above ground like National Rail, and below ground a bit like a larger version of the London Underground. Take Merseyrail for example. The Wirral Line loop underneath the city centre sits entirely underground, just like the Northern Line cutting through the loop. Perhaps this sort of model could be used for SCR, where areas on the outskirts of the city like Victoria or Beechley could have trains at surface level, whilst the very centre of Stepford could have a completely new underground system. It fits nicely into a potential overhaul for Stepford Central, which has looked very similar since all the way back in version 1.4. Maybe we'll get a new entrance into some deep level platforms for Metro at Stepford Central. As well as this, the potential for the middle portion of Metro to be underground also opens up opportunities for new stations around the city area of Stepford. There's no doubt that the distance between Stepford Central and Stepford East is very long. Perhaps some stations below ground level on Metro could sort this out. Or maybe a Metro line could be created heading directly north of Stepford Central to fill the gap between the Whitefield and Willowfield lines, maybe even connecting up to the line of trees. One final thing to mention about where Metro might take us. In older versions of the game, you used to be able to enter some subsurface platforms here at Coxley Newtown, which unfortunately got removed in version 1.6. However, that's not to say that this area isn't still a nod to Metro. It still has the old station entrance for lore, the Metro logo, and even an old sign in the bushes that makes it look like Metro is forever lost. Or not. Personally, I'm not confident that Metro will actually be taken to a new station here at Coxley Newtown, because the original entrance here is very close to Coxley Station, and I'm not sure whether Metro will reach as far as the Benton area, as we already have Waterline in that area, which, in itself, is already a somewhat Metro-like network. It would be like having two versions of Metro in the same city area, which I don't think makes much sense. You can probably tell from what I've been saying already that this whole Metro thing is surrounded by uncertainty. There are so many different approaches the SCR developers could take when implementing this into the game, and for now, until we have any more previews, it looks like we're going to have to blindly guess where the network will go. But that's not all to say. The new sneak peeks may not reveal very much about where Metro will go, but they definitely reveal a few other things. First thing, branding. It looks like Metro will be rocking this classic red design, using the AFACAD font, which will definitely stand out a lot compared to the other operators in SCR. Perhaps it shows how different Metro might behave to other operators. Again, it could be in tunnels, it might not. We don't know much about the livery design yet, but considering SCR's history of brand design, I'm confident that the new livery will look spectacular. Also, in the most recent sneak peek, we can see that Metro will be using a Class 777. I'm very excited to be able to drive this train, as it's an exceptionally good train in real life, with a very clean and modern design, and SCR's train models have been getting better and better over the years. Hopefully we'll be able to see a nice selection of different trains which we can drive when Metro eventually releases. I predict that we might get some other Metro-esque rolling stock in the future, which is used across the UK. Maybe we'll see the classes 994 and 555, which are used on the Tyne and Wear Metro in Newcastle. Perhaps the return of the Class 508, which got mysteriously removed from Waterline, or some existing trains being transferred over from Connect. Or maybe we'll see a bigger mix of modern electric stock used in commuter routes across the UK, such as the classes 710, 323, 230, or 756. I have a feeling that we'll only have 2 to 4 trains drivable on Metro when it releases, otherwise the update would take a lot more time than the community would hope, but hopefully we'll end up with a selection of trains similar to the variety of Waterline trains within a couple of years. Finally, when will Metro be coming out? Well, we don't really have enough pointers to figure this out. We're not sure how far they are with planning, building and rebranding the network, how far they are with building trains, and how far they've gotten with reprogramming. For all we know, Metro could be a little disappointing and nothing more than a Connect takeover, or it could be something as colossal as what we saw in version 1.10 with the airport reshuffle. With that in mind, my prediction is that it will be released anywhere within 2 months and 6 months from now. Yes, this is a large window, but this update is full of uncertainty which we are yet to uncover, so I can't give you a better prediction. At least it's confirmed that Metro won't be a Game Pass. Anyway, that's all from me. Whatever happens with Metro will be a surprise, and I hope this video gave you a few thoughts about the potential places Metro could go. For all we know, I could be spot on or completely wrong, so be prepared to have your expectations completely changed when more sneak peeks come out. If you enjoyed, be sure to leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel if you like my content. I'm Dweller, and I'll see you all in the next video. Take care.